Have you ever wondered what it would be like if the 11th Doctor was actually a drug dealer in grimy New York City in the 1990s? Are you just looking for an excuse to watch an Austin Butler thirst trap?
Nice.
Or a Zoe Kravitz thirst trap? Or maybe you just want to see a cat in a gangster movie? Look, Caught Stealing, the latest film from Darren Aronofsky, has all of these things, but does that make it a good movie? This film is described as a black comedy crime thriller, which you're probably listening to that thinking that is a lot of genres all crammed together. Can it pull something like that off? And look, this thing, it's a really slow burn at the start, but it culminates in a finale that's got some crazy action sequences, and throughout the film, it's got this really witty, dry sense of humor with some brutal moments that actually did give me quite a few giggles. And overall, this thing feels like it could be a GTA game set in 90s New York. It's got that kind of loading screen with the different characters sort of vibe to it, if you know what I mean. Probably this film's biggest weakness is the writing at the start of the movie and the dialogue. It feels quite stilted and very written. As an audience member, I felt really aware of that these characters were speaking what felt to be like a script. It didn't really feel like how real people talk, but I think maybe this is Aronofsky's style. It's something I really noticed in The Whale, which was based off a play. Now, this film is actually based off a book, so it does have different source material than perhaps your standard film that was just created as a script purely. It does go off the book, but man, when this thing starts firing on all cylinders in the middle towards the end, you just forget about all that stilted dialogue and you get swept up for the ride. This thing got crazy. Many people are gonna go into this movie with significantly different expectations because of all those different genres that it sort of does encompass, and I think that means that quite a lot of people are maybe gonna walk out of this feeling a bit disappointed or feeling like their expectations were subverted way too much. So if you're going to go into this movie, you really have to go in with an open mind, be patient with it, and I think there's a lot to appreciate here. Speaking of things to appreciate, Matt Smith, he is a shining light in this film. Every scene that he's in, I found really enjoyable and funny to watch. He just puts in a fantastic performance full of charisma. And Austin Butler, now this is his first sort of leading man film where he's the main guy. Now I know, he was in Elvis, but Elvis himself as a historical figure was a big draw card to that movie. But here, it's pretty much Austin Butler carrying it on his shoulders. And look, I think he does a pretty good job. There's a few moments, again, mainly at the start of the film, where it feels like he's overacting a little bit. He's waking up from dreams, going like, and I think, again, maybe that's some Aronofsky direction, because overall, I think we can all agree that Austin Butler is a fantastic actor. Something else that a lot of people might be interested in is that Bad Bunny, that singer, he's in this movie, and I'm sorry to The Weeknd.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
But Bad Bunny's actually good here. I had no idea that he was Bad Bunny. I never knew what the guy looked like, and he did a good job here. So kudos to him. Now getting into major spoiler talk, so save this video to your watch later to come back to after you've seen the movie. Zoe Kravitz. Her character is a bit underdeveloped overall, but they develop her enough to the point where she is found by Austin Butler's character to have been brutally executed. And I was sitting there in the cinema going, this is 100% a dream sequence, fake out. But no, it was real. She was killed. And you're sitting there in a bit of shock in the audience going, wait, she's actually dead. And for me, it was refreshing to go to a movie where the stakes genuinely felt real. This film was not afraid to kill people off, but at the same time, it doesn't feel completely bleak and horrible because there's some humor in here to give it some levity that really does land for me. The way that this movie handles violence, maybe I was just getting tripped out by sitting in an extreme screen with whatever high-tech surround sound they have. Man, the gunshots were so loud, but I was getting scared every time they were happening, and it really added to the experience of the violence sort of being unexpected and quite quick at times, but it really just captured that sort of dangerous and tense feeling. I was really tensing up in my seat this whole time in the second half of the film, and again, kudos to the movie for that. In terms of the overall takeaway message from this movie, I think it's trying to make some sort of commentary on taking responsibility for your actions, otherwise people around you getting hurt, but it gets a little bit muddled in that because I'm not quite sure what we're trying to get from this by the end. I mean, Austin Butler's character, he ends up taking responsibility for the fact that he got his friend killed in a car crash, but at that time he was just so focused on himself and his baseball career that he just sort of pushed it to the side. Now it gets real when his sort of inaction gets his lover Zoe Kravitz killed, but at the same time I kind of feel like it's not really his fault here. He does make his own decisions and I guess he takes back his own power by crashing the car at the end deliberately and killing the two guys that did kill his lover. But yeah, I was sort of left feeling a little bit muddled with what overall it was trying to say about responsibility, because he ends up living happily ever after, which was nice to see. I think the movie would have been too bleak if that didn't happen. But again, I was sort of just left thinking, what was I supposed to learn from this character arc that I've just watched, other than the world can be a really brutal and nasty place? Let me know down in the comments if you had a different reading on the film. So as a movie overall, I think it is quite subversive. It sort of switches between a few different genres, but as a crime film, for me, it ticked all the boxes that I wanted it to. It had some genuinely surprising twists. I think in a way it might be trying to appeal to a female demographic as well, with the amount of bloody Austin Butler thirst trap shots where you're seeing him running around in his underwear. I guess some people would love to see that, and it almost gets to the point where it just goes a little bit too hard on showing the cat, and people, James Gunn does that all the time. Oh, look how cute this cat is, but it didn't do it to a point for me where it got annoying. I actually thought it was quite charming, and yes, it won my cold heart over by the end. I thought that was pretty good. I am quite worried that this isn't going to do so well at the box office, because I think a lot of people are going to go into this with a bunch of different expectations, and because of that, it's kind of impossible to appease everyone. It's going to have to rely on strong word of mouth. So listen to me, guys. I'm telling you to go watch this film. I don't think it's perfect. I think the first half, again, just feels a little bit slow. There's some pacing and writing issues, but that second half, as I said, it just felt like it picked me up, took me on a roller coaster ride. I was feeling the tension. It actually made me laugh. It had some genuinely funny moments. This thing, it's close to a 4-star movie for me. I'm gonna right now give it 3.5 stars. Definitely recommend. It's in that perfect, this is an entertaining film that you're going to have some great fun going to the cinemas and watch. So I highly recommend checking it out. I still can't quite decipher what the overall meaning's meant to be, but that's okay. I still had a fun time with this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.